Spanians Kebabs. Bing! That's what we're going to be talking about today. That's what we're going to be doing. A bit of a foodie review. We've got a lamb kebab here. We've got some large chips. Spanian is on the hot media market right now, surfing the rest of the world, looking at Le Hoods, doing his foodie reviews, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He's all over the place, building himself a proper profile for an individual on social media. Absolutely loving it. Loving how far he's invested into it and what he's been able to do. And his content's insanely great. It's really up there. And one thing he kind of launched was this Spanians Kebabs, his own outlook and own outtake on the kebabs that he's brought into Sydney. Now, in seeing a lot of these local reviews, one thing that's kind of killing me is that these foodies are coming along, food outlets that he's tasted before, they're going back, eating it, and then giving a bit of a petty review. It seems really petty when it comes across the camera based on the fact that he gave them a bad review when he went to their food outlet, which is insane. And so I'm not a foodie. I have no mutual interest. This isn't my usual critique. So today we're just going to be eating the kebabs. It's a bit of a crossover in the Spot the Aussie world with the Spanians Kebabs. And I'm going to be rawly eating the food and telling you what I think about it on face value. And I think that's what this space needs. A generic general review from someone in the public that doesn't really know foodie as well as the next person. But you know what? If it tastes good, it tastes good. Let's get into it. So first of all, I want to look at the large chips. So I'm going to ping the menu right here. This is everything you can get. And one of the things you'll notice, you cannot do custom orders. And I absolutely love it because what Spanian's saying is you either love it or leave it. You either take it all or you get nothing. And that way, every single food person that comes through or customer that comes through and eats gets a consistent tasting product rather than something that's changed up. It also makes it very significantly easier for the kitchen when they're doing orders on the mass and there's a large queue and they're not having to look at what the card says and it's minus the onions or plus this and da-da-da. So I absolutely love that. The menu is very simple, but I'm a Gordon Ramsay type of guy, and every time I watch Gordon Ramsay, the one thing he always critiques in restaurants when he does Hell's Kitchen or Kitchen Nightmares is stick to what you do well and keep it simple, KISS. And too many of these other restaurants have 5, 10, 15 different variants of the same thing, and then they get lost in the noise, right? When they want to be perfectionist of one or two things and play to their strengths. So, first of all, $10 chips. One thing I noticed when I opened up the top is it's not like we've got a large box, and I haven't had any chips prior to this. I've taken none. I've skimmed off nothing. Me and my wife went and ordered some after the football. As you can see, I'm still in my jersey. It's a bit of a raw review. It's shallow, right? And that's one of the things when you do large chips or whenever you get a container is there's probably an expectation for the chips to take up there where it's kind of like at the middle, right? It's at the middle and below. So most chip places I go to, brimming to the top, overflowing. There's chips assorted through the bag because the takeaway bag, because the bag itself or the chip box it comes in is basically, not enough to hold them in. So yeah, on quantity, but let's see how it comes up to taste. Had about a dozen or so chips now, evenly distributed across the top layer in terms of my specific picking of the bunch, purely because I wanted to make sure the seasoning covered in all areas and I didn't get one batch over another. As you can see, the seasoning is across evenly spread, so that's one thing. But the chips itself, the taste, isn't that fantasto. It isn't that great. There's nothing wow about these chips. I'm not getting sucker punched in the face with flavor. Yes, there's seasoning. Yes, they've done their own little mix on it, but it's nothing urging me to go back for the chips, right? And for $10, nah. I think they've missed the mark here a little bit. I would be willing, more or less, for the quantity that I got, ignoring the box, I'd be looking at maybe $6, maybe even $6.50. But I wouldn't specifically be going out of my way to Spanians Kebabs to eat the chips again. In fact, if I went back, I would not be adding the chips in addition. Okay, now that I've opened up this bad boy, it's not your traditional wrap for a kebab. Something a little bit different, and we're okay with that. We're okay to try new things. The kebab doesn't have the full length of like what you'd expect from like your doner kebabs, but I will say this, it is packing heat. Look at that meat. In contrast to the chips, where the actual box itself was shortened, this is stacked and packed to the top, to the tippity top. They've literally thrown all the meat on here. And the meat by itself, a little bit of the spicy flavor, because that's the only thing you can customize if you've got the spicy sauce or not. I'm halfway through this bad boy. This is good. This is really good. That sourdough has a good kick to it. The spicy flavor sauce, pops. The meat, the actual lamb meat itself, delicious. And the mixture that he's gone through here is perfect. It's simple, straightforward, but delivers. I would even rate this a 9 out of 10 out of the kebab world, right? Gone through a lot of kebab places, living in Granville, been all through the Sydney West my whole life. Gone from kebab base to the kebab place after drinking, big drinking night sessions. This would be up there with the best of the best. It's a completely different take to what we see across Sydney, which is great. I love someone who's trying something different to hit that space. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Straight up, 9 out of 10. Fantastic. Absolutely killing it. This is good. This is good tasting kebab. This is good tasting. And the kebab connoisseurs may say, this isn't actually a kebab, it's something else. I remember some other reviewer was saying, it's not a kebab, it's like a larap, it's like a dish, it's like a... At the end of the day, does it taste good? Yes. Is it worth $15? Let's talk about the price point for a second. $15 reduce. Now, in the kebab world, $15 would be premium kebab. I can get a lamb kebab for probably $12.50, so it's not far off the mark. The average cost would be about $12.50. Premium kebab places probably $13.50. Would I feel like $15 is an okay price point for this? Absolutely. The guy's got his personal branding out there, and it's going to suck in a lot more people coming through than usual. And I still think that at $15, everyone would walk away happy from that. All age groups, in fact. I don't think you can be disappointed in the kebab whatsoever. The chips, like I said, probably 5 out of 10. Not great. Not the worst. In the middle. Wouldn't be going back for the chips. The kebab, on the other hand, I can't wait to stop this video so I can just keep tucking in. And the other things to go along with it. What about location? North Parramatta, Victoria, pretty local to anything out in Sydney's West region. Easy to park on site, and if it was full, there's like a shell, or just beyond that, like a car wash bay or 2 side streets that you can find parking quite easily. So there's not really dramas there. When you go there and you've got the food, you can turn around and you can sit underneath these like industrial buildings that have a bit of a front veranda area, and it's got crates, traditional Spanian style. So go check it out. Go have a kebab. Go for a bit of a drive. Get out there. Buy it. Lamb kebab, great. Chips, not that great. Pretty disappointing. If I could go back to back on anything, instead of spending $15 on a kebab and $10 on large chips, I probably would have spent $15 on a kebab and potentially $13 or $14, being the prices right there, on the other kebab type. But this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. Nothing bad to say about the kebab itself. Really cool wrapping. The truck that it's dished out in is good. Service was quick. We were pretty early in the queue on a Thursday night after the footy. Can't complain about that. So go check out Spanians Kebabs and go get one for yourself. Take it easy. I'm going to go dig into the rest of this kebab. Whoosh.